Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And we're about to do our second weapon comparison. Two of my favourite SMGs in the game, the Vector and the Scorpion EVO. And actually the testing was very interesting. I learned something through this testing. A little attachment which you'll see which makes a huge difference to one of the guns. And yeah, just a lot of fun to run around with some SMGs for a change. Let's see what happens in the testing. Let's do it! So as we did with the assault rifles, let's go through and do a side-to-side comparison. You can see we've got the graphic up again with both weapons ready to go. So let's have a look. Now I have a couple of things before we get started. During the footage you will see that the Vector isn't fully upgraded. There was one more little upgrade to do, which was a reload upgrade. These graphics were done after that upgrade, and in fact, once I upgraded the reload speed, it didn't actually make any difference to the base stats, which was kind of interesting. So you'll see slightly different. You're not going to see any different stats in the footage, but it's kind of weird that it needed an upgrade. I finally done the upgrade before I captured this graphic, and it didn't make any difference. So. That's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to say is I was able to determine which of these particular factors of the gun or attributes of the gun were the better ones by overlaying both of these graphics that show the accuracy, handling, etc. over the top of each other. So some of them are very close, but I did take my time and measure them properly. So let's get into the accuracy, and for the accuracy it is very, very close, but the Scorpion EVO beats the Vector hands down. And you're going to see, strangely enough, the attributes and the measurements here don't reflect what we were going to see in testing, so to some degree. So accuracy, the Scorpion EVO just beats the Vector. In handling, and this is a significant one, I think, and this is the one you're going to see in the testing, the Scorpion EVO CQC beats the Vector by quite a long way, although the bar doesn't reflect that as much. The range values I could not separate. They are absolutely the same. Strangely enough, though, that again isn't reflected in the testing. The Vector beats the Scorpion in mobility stakes by a long way. Obviously, I think the Scorpion is a little bit heavier or something, I'm not sure. The recoil is interesting because although there doesn't seem to be a huge difference with the recoil, the Scorpion EVO takes it out. I think it would be fair to say once we do the testing, you're going to see that that recoil number isn't correct as far as how close it is, and we'll get into that in a bit. The damage is virtually the same. The Vector just nudges out the Scorpion on damage, 24 versus 23. There's virtually nothing in that. The rate of fire is slightly higher on the Vector to the EVO, which, okay, so the Vector's got a higher fire rate, but that's not necessarily a good thing, because if you have played any shooters in the past, regardless of what they are, a low damage, high fire rate tends to have a lot of recoil. And so the higher the fire rate, the higher the recoil, generally is how it works. So anyway, the Vector wins there, and then finally the reload speed is 2.4 versus 2.6, so the Scorpion wins there. So 4 versus 3, the Scorpion EVO seems to be, on the face of it, based on these stats here, a little bit better. Now, the shorter range CQC version has less recoil than the Scorpion EVO. You see that at the bottom. The Vector says that it has a low recoil damage and accuracy trade-off. Let's see what the testing does. Now, Incidentally, the Scorpion EVO you will get as a reward, the CQC version, sorry, of the Scorpion EVO you get as a reward, I think, for completing the Panther class to level 10. I might be wrong with that, but I think that's what it is. The Vector you can just pick up and start playing around with. Okay, so let's have a look at the recoil and see what we get. Okay, let's get into recoil testing. We're going to start with the Scorpion EVO. And let's point it at the wall. And you can see it's pretty all over the place. Let's ADS it. You can see there's bullets everywhere on that wall. Look at that. So let's aim it in and see if it tightens it up any. Just quick reload. And yeah, it's got a pretty tight bullet spread when you ADS. So let's go to the Vector and just see what difference that makes. That pretty much the same. High fire rate, low damage. You're going to get, it's all over the place. Let's see when we ADS what the comparison's like. And you can see there's quite a bit more recoil. It's kicking up into the left there. And there's not a lot I can do to control that, to be honest. It's pretty savage. Whereas with the Scorpion, there is a reasonable amount of control. So let's start slinging some attachments on these guns and just see what kind of difference it's going to make. So we're going to put the Atapile attachment, hipfire attachment on, and just see if that makes any difference to the Vector. And yeah, I don't know that made a huge amount of difference. It seems a little bit tighter, but not a huge amount. So let's now put a under rail on, a foregrip of some kind. Let's just see what we've got. We want 15% vertical recoil. Truly the vertical recoil we want to control, so we'll go with the RU vertical grip. Just see if that makes any difference. Reload. These run out of bullets real quick, and it's not making a huge difference to the gun. Now, I'm about to show you attachment that is going to make a huge difference. Just give me 2 seconds. So my suggestion is to put the muzzle brake on this gun. You watch how much of a difference this is about to make. The wall's a bit cleaner now, so you can't see all the previous marks, but we're just going to fire it at the wall and you'll see how this just tightens things right up. And it looks spectacular, but look how that tightens the kind of spread of bullets up. It's tightened it up, one attachment tightened it up a long way. So I'd absolutely recommend you have that on your Vector. Okay, so now for the Scorpion, we're just going to do the same kind of thing. Now, the problem with the Scorpion EVO CQC is because it was a reward weapon, I can't take as many attachments off for the base testing, but we just put a facial touch grip ×3 on, and yeah, it's made a little bit of difference actually. You can see there on the left it was kind of kicking up to the right. That's tightened it up a little bit more. The foregrips on this gun are kind of interesting. We're probably just going to go with that angled vertical grip. The stocks make no difference to this gun whatsoever. Really, I went through all the stocks, and it's either time to aim. Not a huge amount of difference. Let's just see if there's any foregrips that are going to make an influence here. Yeah, you're only really getting about 10% vertical recoil at best. Still a few attachments I've got to buy there, so I'll have to get my act together. But yeah, we'll try that one. See how we go. Just see if it tightens it up a little bit more. Find a new piece of wall. Reload. And these guys get out of the way, we'll be good. That actually makes a huge amount of difference. compared to where we were. So we pretty much got it optimized now, and we'll get into the loader now and show you where we ended up with this. Okay, so let's see what we've got on the Vector. And so we got the extended mags on. You can see that in this graphic that I still haven't upgraded at this point. +1 reload speed, but it didn't actually make any difference to the stats, strangely enough, as I said earlier. So extended mags, we're going to swap that standard muzzle out for the muzzle brake I just showed you, because it's making a huge difference to kind of the shot spread and the hipfire recoil. That really is the biggest attachment, I would say. Make sure it's on. At a pile ×3, red dot sight panel out sight, auto burst trigger, and we have the RU vertical 4 grip on. And that's pretty much my build for the Vector. Obviously I changed the muzzle brake due to the testing, but everything else was pretty much the same. And with the Scorpion EVO 3 CQC, I have a very similar kind of setup. Extended mags, standard muzzle, at a pile ×3, red dot sight. I have a stock tack light stock, which I think there's a ton of these here, but that just gives me aim down sight time. And I think that between the SOCOM and the tack light, that's just a preference thing. M4 stock, there's all kinds of stuff. Time to aim, they all seem to be time to aim. That helps with the vertical recoil, although with the Scorpion EVOs, you'll see the vertical recoil is not a great problem. And you can see most of these are really just cosmetic. That's 5% vertical recoil, it's 5%, 7% time to aim. Yeah, the tack light, I just leave it at the tack light. There's not a huge amount of problems with this gun. This gun's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. So now for the fun stuff, let's go out and test them and just see what we get. Yeah, I spend a lot of this being red. So there's a Scorpion EVO there. You can see that was pretty nasty, pretty accurate. We're going to try the Vector, and you see the Vector just takes a little bit more handling, and I'm just getting pummeled into the ground. Oh, hi friend. In fact, I was running out of bullets on this gun a lot during testing, so the Vector, I'm going to switch back to the Scorpion. Yep. See, the Scorpion is just on point, and for me it's by far, if I was going to advise you which one to pick, the Scorpion wins hands down, because the handling and just the accuracy is so much better, regardless of what the stats are telling you. I don't know, I could shoot through the window, but anyway, the Vector just got me in a whole lot of trouble. And not to say it's a bad weapon, just for me, I don't know, up close and, you know, trying to kill enemies, it just didn't do the job for me. So we're going to run it front in a minute. While I'm going to wait until I've healed a little. Yeah, because like I said, this whole testing kind of was a bit red. Oh, there's a whole lot of reinforcements there. Duck down. So we'll give them a quick pepper with that. And you can see the Scorpion EVO just absolutely ripped them to shreds there. Absolutely ripped them to shreds. I'm going to put the Vector on here. There's actually a guy hiding right behind. I didn't even notice him. I'm too busy reloading or doing something. And so, close quarters, Vector's fantastic. Mid-range is where it kind of starts to fall apart a little. Now, there is a sniper here somewhere. We will find him. Now, the one thing I did forget to mention is the Vector uses 4.45 ammo, whereas the Scorpion EVO uses 9mm. So, oh, hi friend. So So you can see close quarters, the Vector is fine, absolutely fine. I'm not fine, I'm hurt, but like I said, at that kind of mid to longer range, regardless of what the stats might tell you, I just find it's a lot harder to control the Vector. And we're going to sneak into this room here. I'm going to cut, and we're going to go and take out a machine, and it'll show how the Scorpion is a little bit better. So there's one of those automatic weapons things at the front there, right there. So we're going to start with the Vector and see. You can see how the Vector, how much damage it takes down. Now we'll go to the difference in both these guns. Watch this. The Scorpion is just destroys, regardless of having less damage, and the fire rate supposedly is lower, but it just the way the gun feels just doesn't work like that for me. Personally, it just seems the better. So there is the testing, guys. I hope it helps you make a decision. They're both awesome guns, but I would certainly, for me, lean towards and recommend the Scorpion EVO. If you can get your hands on one of those, if you like running SMGs, this is the gun to have, guys. So thanks for that, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope these weapon comparisons are good for you. If they are, I'd love to hear your comments down below. If there are any guns that you want me to test or weapons comparisons you want me to do, please again leave it down in the comments. Around 88% of people that watch this channel are not subscribed, so please, if you want to keep up to date on everything that we're doing with Ghost Recon and the other games that we play, please have a look around the channel, and if you think it's what you like, please consider subscribing, and we will catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya. Welcome back, YouTube. How are you doing today, guys? Hope you're staying safe. We're back in some Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and we're about to do our second we're about to move the microphone